Now in their second season, Leadership of the Leaf with more cigar knowledge and more leadership insights. Two great leaders smoking great cigars. Here's our host, Austin and Dice. Grab a drink and jump in with a cut and a light.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Leadership of the Leaf. My name's Austin.
And I'm Dice.
And Dice, what are you smoking over there?
What's with the weird? What are you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, he's looking at me funny. I don't know what's going on. I am smoking. I picked this on purpose. There was a picture I posted that was posted on Instagram. It was Nas Hennessy, 50th anniversary of hip hop, special edition. Then I posted with a picture of an Avo that I smoked like that night, and I was like, beautiful music with hip hop and all this type, classical and hip hop, right? Whatever.
A great photo.
But yeah, so it got so much attention. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna smoke an Avo and drink Hennessy on air. I'm gonna do that. So
yeah, I think that's a great idea.
It's an Avo Heritage Special edition, and my Hennessy that I'm smoking. The Hennessy I'm drinking.
Smoking.
I did smoke Hennessy. It. That's why.
That is fair. I know.
All right. So it's hip hop Hennessy. I smoked an ice cube. And the ice cube is orange, blood orange ice cube. Smoked that, and then I add the Hennessy on top. So it's a pecan wood smoked blood orange ice cube with Hennessy.
Did you just say pecan?
Pecan. Wait, motherfucker, you know where I'm from. So it's a pecan.
I'm just trying to trigger everybody on that's listening.
I see
to
this.
right now.
What the hell? All right, Avo Heritage Special Hennessy, orange, blood orange, pecan smoked, ready to go. Your turn.
And you said what Hennessy are you pairing that with? Is there a special Hennessy or is it just?
It's VS, but it's the hip hop edition.
Okay.
It's just a special bottle. Just a special bottle.
I just gotta ask. The cognac,
you know, our
listeners want to know.
The cognac's the same.
What Hennessy are you pairing that with? All right, me. I decided to go just random grab bag in my humidor, and I pulled out an ADVentura the Navigator.
Oh, I like that. I like ADVentura.
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't had one of these. I've had ADVentura before, but I don't think I've had one of these particular cigars, so I'm pretty excited for it. And I decided to pair that with one of my favorites, a good Esprit de Cru, the Crystal Rum.
All right.
So we'll get the nice smoothness in there to hopefully complement everything that I was looking up to this. But we got an interesting show today. Interesting show. A little bit dirty.
I think it's going to be difficult to get through. I'm not going to lie. I think it's going to be difficult.
Why do you say you think it's going to be difficult?
Dude, I am not one of those. I hate spit.
What?
I fucking hate spit. I hate spitting. I hate saliva.
Does it just gross you out?
It's just something about it. Just if you want to fight me, spit on me. We'll fight. I'm telling you. Or snap one of the. You know how they do the little towel snap thing in the locker room.
Yeah.
If you do that, these hands will be in motion.
I've seen that.
Stop it.
I have. I remember somebody doing that to you, and I was like, "Damn, all right, he wasn't lying."
So the show, back to the show. We don't need to discuss that. Allegedly, you also got to say allegedly.
Allegedly, I allegedly saw that.
You saw what I did allegedly. Come on, man. What are you wearing a wire?
Huh?
You the police?
Blue team go. All right.
So, what's the cigar topic?
We're going to talk about saliva and why there's certain people that seem to spit like every 30 seconds when they're smoking a cigar versus other people who don't seem to spit. So we're going to talk about a little bit about saliva, why we spit, why we don't. Just kind of go through it It's an interesting topic, but it's also a little bit gross. So, spoiler alert, if you don't like it, skip it. And then for our leadership topic, what do we got, Dice?
Toxic handlers.
Is that the person that forklifts the barrels of toxic waste? Or no, we just dump them in the river, right?
Yeah, with our lawn trimmings. Yes, that's exactly what it's about.
Oh.
And if you think that, you should go ahead and turn this podcast off now and just hang it up. just go ahead.
Well, I guess I'm out.
Of course, it's a leadership topic. So toxic handlers. I also like to call them quiet contributors.
Yeah, that's good. I like that one. I like that a little bit better. But toxic handler has pizzazz. It's got little jazz hands it throws up.
So if you really want to know what it's about, just let's stay tuned. Let's stay on track.
Stay tuned. We're trying. We're trying, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a fun week. Let's just put it that way. All right. So I know you haven't, Dice, but maybe our listeners have. Maybe they've smoked a cigar, and then while smoking the cigar, they feel the sudden urge to just spit. Cigar tasted bitter. The saliva in your mouth built up, and when you swallowed, you start to feel queasy. Maybe. If you felt like this, guess what? You're not alone. A lot of people are affected by this, and people are affected differently. I could tell you, I tend to be one of those people that saliva builds up in my mouth. I could swallow it, and I'm fine, but it builds up in my mouth when I'm smoking a cigar more than any other time, unless I'm looking at a mouth-watering steak or something. But people are affected differently. So if somebody's sitting there spitting and you're like just sitting there looking at them all weird, kind of going, "What the hell is wrong with you?" It's not necessarily their fault. Maybe it's their genes. Maybe they just got bad genes. So some people need to feel the spit every 30 seconds, while other people hardly produce any saliva while smoking a cigar. Neither of these scenarios are wrong, and you're not technically a weirdo for this if you produce quote-unquote waterfalls of saliva.
I remember when we worked together, it was one night or whatever. It wasn't you, it was someone else that was smoking with us. And I'd be damned if it did not look like this motherfucker had a river up under him from how much he was spitting. I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Does he know I don't like spit? Or maybe he does know and he was fucking with me. I don't know. Either way.
That was like, funny.
Gross. Shut up.
So I want the sound effect of the little spittoon. Pating. Every time we say the word spit. Pating.
I'm not doing it. That's not happening. Okay, maybe once.
Yeah.
Or twice. What is the purpose of saliva?
Aid in digestion.
The first purpose is being a digestive enzyme.
Hey!
We both know I'm not going to pronounce this right. We both know. Yep. You might as well go ahead and say it.
Salivary amylase. Oh my God. Salivary amylase.
Yeah, exactly that. What? Are you okay over there?
I had a wife hair and it was tickling my elbow up in my sleeve and I had to get it out and then finally figured it out. Go on with the show. Don't worry about what the fuck I'm doing.
Fuck around and find out.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So it helps you, as you said so quickly at the beginning, it helps you digest food.
Hey.
Secondly, saliva produces a secretion that creates the lubrication fluid called mucin. Hey, I got that one. Mucin. Saliva
That's
helps
why when you spit on it.
Saliva helps you digest your food, keep your mouth from going dry, and maintain the overall acid balance in your mouth, along with the overall oral cavity, keeping your entire mouth healthy. Now, everyone probably know or don't know, there are parts of tobacco that aren't very healthy. I know, gasp, right? Hold for gasp. So saliva works to protect your immune system against the parts of tobacco that are in your mouth to keep your body running smoothly. So essentially, it's our first line of digestion and defense.
Facts. I've always been amazed by the people, and we'll kind of get into this a little bit later. I may be jumping ahead here, but I've always been amazed by the people that literally just take like a dry cigar and they just like bite the end of it and just chew on the leaves or whatever. Have you ever seen those people?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, why?
They pull the cigar out and what did you do to the end? It's mutilated.
Yeah, or the old Clint Eastwood where he like shoves it like all the way back in his mouth on his teeth and he's just like chomping on it while he's smoking. I'm like, what are you doing? It's always just that part's always been like a mystery to me.
It's called Hollywood, sir.
Facts. All right, but so now that we know what the purpose of saliva is, we can address why you feel the urge to spit while you smoke a cigar. So the main reason is at least for newer cigar smokers, or maybe those who only smoke like once a month or something, they aren't used to those sensations that are produced in the mouth while smoking. So saliva is produced in excess when the cigar sits in your mouth. So, you know, if this is something that bothers you, either you're going to have to smoke a little bit more to kind of get exposure. If that's not something that you want to do, but you really want to go for that Hollywood look, just try not to hold the cigar in your mouth or chew on it for long periods of time, because it's going to produce more saliva. Your body's trying to basically digest your cigar.
That's absolutely true. You know what? I never looked at it.
Yeah, it's exactly what's happening. You're putting something in your mouth, and it's trying to digest it. That's why cigarette smokers don't do the same shit. They hold it on their lips. Right? Cigarette smokers, they hold it on their lips. They don't shove it all the way back to their, back of their mouth and sit there and chomp on it. And they go, why am I spitting so much? Your body's literally trying to digest the cigar. So when you keep the cigar in your mouth for too long, it creates a nicotine and tar buildup. Usually that kind of causes that bitter, foul taste, and that is not a pleasant taste, so sometimes people want to spit that out. But like we said, not all cigar smokers experience the same thing. Some people still produce a normal amount of saliva and feel no urge to spit.
I guess I'm one of those.
Yeah, like I said, there's certain people where I've sat there and smoked with them, and I'll sit there and smoke, and we'll be talking and chatting, and like it seems like after every puff, they're like, puh, puh, puh. And I'm like, what are you doing with your life, man? I'm like, I can't swallow, it makes me sick. And I'm like, look, how many cigars do you smoke? How often are you smoking?
That's my second one ever in life.
Yeah. Do you have a drink that maybe you can help wash that excess saliva down with?
Well, on the flip side, sir.
Ooh.
There are some cigar blends that cause dry mouth. For example, cigars made with Dominican tobacco often have olar. Did I say that right? Olar leaf.
Sure, we're gonna go with that.
All right, it's a Spanish word. Olar triggers the salty region of the tongue, which dries out the tongue, and it has a counteract effect and its dryness. The blenders will often try to, blend that out with another Dominican leaf in the filler to try to get a right amount of saliva and dryness in the effect, so you don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, so they use Dominican San Vicente tobacco in the filler to counteract the olor leaf, because the San Vicente actually stimulates saliva production. So those two tobaccos work together to bring balance to the blend, and many cigar makers strive to create a balanced, complex cigar made with a variety of tobaccos that stimulate different areas of the tongue, right? We've talked about it before in past episodes. We have the umami, the salty, the sweet, the sour.
Oh, yeah.
The umami.
Stop it. You're going to make me spit. Oh, so gross.
Yeah. That's funny. But people are different. Can't say it enough, right? Everyone likes what they like. People are different, so you're going to have different reactions to cigars, right? If Dice smokes The Pledge by EP Carrillo and gets a huge nicotine buzz off of it and gets woozy from it or something, and I smoke it and I don't, that doesn't mean that there's a difference in strength of the cigar. It just means that we're two different people who reacted differently to that cigar. So saying that, different flavor profiles may cause a different mouth reaction compared to the person smoking with you, even if it's the same cigar.
Yeah. There's been times where we have smoked the same cigar side by side. Not only did we get slightly different flavor profiles, sometimes they're the same, but sometimes because of also what you're drinking also plays a part in how much saliva and everything is in your mouth, because you're drinking causes your mouth to swallow the saliva as well, even if you don't want to. Or sometimes you often spit a lot more than I do, so it could actually dry out spots of your mouth to where you actually get something slightly different from myself either way. So just saying all that, man, people are different.
Yeah. All right, so Dice, do you spit or swallow?
Is this private talk or?
I mean, we're being recorded. Let's do it, right? You knew that I was going to ask this question.
Yeah, I knew that.
Mile away.
These fucking topics, I swear. I would say I swallow, sir. I'm a swallower. In context of cigars, you fucking dirty.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I believe the implication was there. Everybody knows.
Never mind. So the answer to that question is based on personal preference, Dice. So you prefer to swallow.
What do you prefer, since you put me on the spot, you fucking guy?
Well, spitter.
Yeah. So for those out there listening, you got the best of both worlds right here. He's a spitter, and I'm a swallower.
Oh,
when it comes to smoking cigars.
Yeah. Sometimes swallowing the excess saliva produced while smoking a cigar can make you feel queasy, right? So, a lot of times what I've found is the stronger the cigar or the longer the finish of a cigar that lingers on my tongue, maybe that longer of a finish of a cigar may not taste as good as the puff, right? It kind of goes for that long finish and you kind of get that old ashy cigar taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
That if your saliva tastes like that, maybe swallowing it might make you feel a little bit queasy. Other times it doesn't. It's basically a matter of personal choice. If you're smoking inside, though, just realize you're not going to be able to find a place to spit. So if you're going to a cigar lounge and you know that you're a spitter, I would make sure that you have a drink with you or a spit cup if it's really that big of an issue.
Fuck, just pick a different cigar.
Yeah, or pick a lighter cigar.
Yeah, my goodness, don't spit in a cigar lounge. Don't do that. Not even in a cup. I hate that too.
Well, if you can't see it, plus I'd get a drink.
Yeah, drink your spit.
Well, if you take a sip of rum or vodka or whiskey or Hennessy or whatever.
Yay! He said it. I was waiting for it.
I'm just saying, if you have one of those drinks and your mouth is full of spit and you take a drink of one of those beverages and swallow it all down with your spit, maybe it doesn't make you feel as queasy. I don't know. Just an idea. Maybe. Try it. Even if it's water. Shit, even if it's water, you just take a sip of water or something and kind of just help wash it all down.
I think water would intensify it, multiply it.
I don't know.
I'm just saying. I don't know. Have you ever drank water with a cigar? Just water, not like with something else. Just water.
Yes.
Only water I drink with a cigar, sir, is frozen in the middle of my drink.
I'm just letting you know. You asked the question. The answer is yes.
Yeah. Well, I was answering my question too.
I lived in Florida. If I smoked during the middle of the day outside, I had to drink water. I was sweating it all out.
Fair. That's a fair assessment.
What's your flavor profile of your cigar, sir? What's the first third like?
I see you. Oh man, my first woodiness. Come on, woodiness, cedar, toasty sweetness.
You're gonna say woodiness after you said you swallow?
Oh my god. How old are you again? I can't remember.
Old enough to smoke a cigar and to have a podcast.
How about you, sir?
Toffee. It's like a caramel toffee coffee. That's just kind of fun to say, but that's what I get. It's like a caramel coffee almost, with like a hint of earth on the back end. It's good. Very, very good.
And see how you said like a toffee, caramelly toffee?
Yeah.
Notice how you said that?
I said
quite a few times.
Coffee.
Not toffee? Not tea?
Toffee coffee. Like if you took
toffee coffee.
Yes, like butterscotch, right? You know, you take that and you put that in the coffee and you mix it all up to the butterscotch melts, and then put maybe a little bit of hazelnut creamer in there and sip that all down.
So your flavor profile you absolutely just described pairs so perfect with Hennessy. I'm gonna say it every time. Pairs perfect with Hennessy.
Not everything
ADVentura
pairs
Cigars.
perfect with Hennessy.
ADVentura Cigars pair perfectly with Hennessy. Changed my mind.
You know what? I'm gonna come see you.
All
right, let's take a break. When we come back, let's get into our lovely leadership topic of the toxic handler. Quiet
contributor. Yeah. All right. After this break.
Hola, mi gente. I'm Wanda Hernandez. I'm CEO of Sticks and Stones Productions, and we are here with Dice and Austin, and you are listening to Leadership of the Leaf.
All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening to Leadership of the Leaf. I'm just letting you know, if you want to see what kind of cigars that myself, Dice,
and Austin,
what we're smoking on each episode, check out our Instagram on Leadership of the Leaf. All one word.
At Leadership of the Leaf. And please, leave us a comment. Send us a message with what other questions or what you guys are smoking on. Maybe you guys have some suggestions for us that we'd love to give it a shot.
At Leadership of the Leaf on Instagram. Hey, welcome back to Leadership of the Leaf. We're ready to start our leadership topic about toxic handlers.
Yeah, that motherfucker. He's a toxic bitch-ass motherfucker.
Now, when I first read about toxic handlers, I thought it was negative. I thought it was a negative thing.
It's, you know what though, the title kind of makes it, so we talk about in leadership, right? We talk about toxic leadership a lot. It's everywhere out there. So anytime you put something like toxic in front of somebody, your brain automatically kind of goes to the negative. But it's really not. The toxic handler is the person that voluntarily shoulders the sadness, frustration, bitterness, and anger that are prevalent to the organizational life or the team. Like, if you think about it in a team setting, right? Let's say you're working on a project and you have a team for that project. This is the person that every person goes to that they vent to. Man, I just can't stand fucking Billy Bob. He's such a piece of shit and he doesn't even understand what we're doing here. And Susan's such a bitch and fuck this hoe and blah, blah, blah. They take all of that voluntarily and say, yeah, come, it's fine. Take it to me. Or they're also the person that says, to play devil's advocate, what if we didn't do that stupid ass idea and we did this? And then everybody kind of gangs up on that person. Fuck you, George. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, well, but if you did that, it doesn't make sense. And they're like, fuck you. All right, fine. So it's that's the toxic handler, right? They voluntarily take all of that bad negativity onto themselves for the sake of the team, to help the team function better, or the organization function better.
Right. So to try to eliminate the difference here,
yes,
in
between
the
a
show
handler
notes,
and a leader.
I inserted the toxic leader, so people kind of get an idea of who the toxic handler is defending or not defending, is being an umbrella for the team, the workers.
Yeah.
So a toxic leader is a person who has responsibility for a group of people or organization, team, like you were saying, and who abuses the leader-follower relationship by leaving the group or organization in a worse condition than it was in.
That piece of shit.
Right. Yeah, they're the ones that just negative and well, there's examples here.
Yeah,
there's ways to identify them.
Yeah, you can usually tell who they are. They make decisions based on their own convenience. No, I don't want them to have the meeting at 8 o'clock when everybody else is available. I want to have the meeting at 10 o'clock because that won't interfere with my golf schedule. Bitch, what? Fuck you.
Yeah, I prefer to have it around, 1, maybe 12:30.
Hey, why don't we just have like a working lunch? Everyone just bring in a brown bag. We'll just bang this thing out over lunch, and then we can all just, and then I'll just leave at 1 to go.
Home. Yeah, I'm going home early.
Yeah, I gotta change. I gotta get some tires put on the car, and that works better for me.
I hate you. They present themselves one way, but their behavior doesn't match what they say.
I really care about every single one of you. And then, oh, hey, boss. Yeah, no, Susie's a piece of shit, and she didn't show up on time. But, it's okay. I'm handling the situation. No?
Are you gonna give us examples of each one?
Do you want me to?
Because I'll go and you can give the example. Yeah, this is good. I like it. They see no connection between what they do and the outcome and take no responsibility for their behavior.
Listen, I don't understand how you making a bad decision is my fault. You came to me with the idea and said, hey, I think we should do this. All I did is say, okay, it's your fault that you made a bad decision. And now the project is ruined. And now I have to come in and fix it. And we all have to work the weekend. And I'll see what you guys come up with on Monday.
Yeah, this is pretty good. Have you been a toxic leader before?
May have worked for a few.
They act out of anger rather than discuss problems.
Who the fuck do you think you are to roll your fucking eyes at me? You want to roll your eyes at me in a meeting? You fucking deal with me right there in the meeting. I don't want to fucking hear you talk to you about this shit.
They slam doors, they sulk, and make it clear they are angry, but refuse to talk about it.
I'm fine. I don't want to fuck talk about it with you. No, I said I'm fine.
They are extremely rigid and controlled by power.
Listen, every motherfucker better be here by 6:30. Otherwise, I'm writing every motherfucking ass up. Period. I'll show up at 7 o'clock. I think I broke him. I broke him, ladies and gentlemen. I broke him.
Oh,
are these hitting a little close to home?
That was good, sir. That was a good one. Employees of toxic organizations suffer pain from their experiences in toxic environments.
All of the examples that I just gave have happened to me personally. Wow. Have happened to me.
Huh. Interesting.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
Does everyone know I used to work for Dice?
Does everyone know that I said everyone better be in at 6:30 and he showed up at 7? The funny thing is their ass was there at 6:30.
Yeah, except for the motherfucker who made the threat.
Oh, it definitely wasn't a threat. But that's funny. That was fucked up on my part.
It was. Glad you see that.
Yeah, I saw it at the time. All right.
So Toxic handlers alleviate the organizational pain by helping others around him or her deal with the strains of the organization. They coach, counsel, advise, and shield employees from the wrath of toxic leaders.
You know what, guys? You know what? I know Austin said this, but here is what we're actually trying to do.
They reframe the manager's difficult messages to make them less harsh and more constructive.
You guys, you're not morons. Regardless of what he said, you're not morons. We're a great team. We can make this happen.
They listen empathetically and suggest solutions.
I understand that you was late. I get that. But we need to maybe set 2 alarm clocks or something. We need to work on this so we don't be late anymore.
They carry the confidences of others.
I know you guys can do it. You made it out of high school. You had some college behind your belt. You guys are smart enough to figure this out on your own. Let's do this.
And they work behind the scenes to prevent pain.
You know what? I'm not going to go back in there and tell these guys we're working overtime. You know why I'm not going to do that? Because we're going to get it done on time today. So I'm not going to tell them what you just said.
Yeah.
All those are examples of exactly things I have done, sir.
Exactly. Yeah, I've done it too. Weird. Just saying.
Yeah.
People are toxic. All this to say, we kid and we joke and we laugh about it now, and it's funny. People who are toxic, sometimes if they're normally a good person, maybe they're just having an off day. Maybe they're just having, maybe there's something going on in their personal life. They don't mean to be that toxic person. The real toxic leaders are the ones who do it habitually. That is their personality. That is the person. That's just kind of who they are, and you've never seen another side of them. That's
how they choose to communicate. It's weird, because I've seen people that do that. That's how they choose to communicate toxically. Yeah,
absolutely. It sucks, but I just want to throw that out there. We kid and we jest and all this sort of stuff. We give it examples, and it's funny, haha. There's a lot of bad people out there that are toxic leaders that are put in leadership positions that shouldn't be in leadership positions. And if you're sitting there and you're the one advocating for everybody, you've kind of become the toxic handler, right? So the toxic handler, to identify them, they're the person that you watch comfort colleagues, diffuse tense situations, and take the heat from tough bosses. I've done it myself. I've gone in there to a boss and they're sitting there like, you piece of shit, I can't believe you couldn't do one simple step. It's a process. You know what the process is. It's A through Z, and you stopped at B, and I can't believe you fucking did that. And your people are all idiots, and you're just standing there going, no, my people are not idiots. We had problems. This is what happened. The tool broke. The process broke. And they're diffusing everything, trying to get everything done. And they're the person just sitting there just taking the beating and acting as a shield for everybody else.
Yeah, during the research, I put together like a little list of who are they? Who are the toxic handlers, right? And as you were saying, they're the ones that comfort colleagues, that diffuse tense situations and take the heat from tough bosses. You've seen them step into to ease the pain during layoffs or change in programs or certain protocols that just doesn't quite make sense, but you see them kind of lean in to try to ease that pain.
Yeah, these are the leaders that voluntarily shoulder the stress, the sadness, the frustration, bitterness, anger of others so that high-quality work continues to get done. They're the person you go to and be like, man, my wife at home, blah, 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 or Jill is such a bitch from HR. I can't believe she came to me and said my time cards weren't filled out because I forgot I wrote 8.80 instead of 8.0. She knows that it's fucking 8.0. She just put the 1 point, but no, she blew up in front of me and on me in front of everybody. And I got it. Let me talk to Jill. She shouldn't do that, but let me go talk to her. I understand. Yeah, she's a bitch. All right, cool. They're the person that you kind of go to vent, to sit there and kind of like, I can't fucking take this place anymore.
Toxic handlers are not new. They're probably as old as organizations themselves, but there has never been a systematic study of the role they play.
And that's fair. You know, there's a lot of things that maybe don't have a title yet that we're just kind of realizing for the first time is a thing. We all just kind of took them for granted.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh yeah. Hey, that guy, that Bob, he's a good guy. If you ever have problems, go talk to him. He'll help you out. That's the guy, right? Now, Bob probably filled the toxic handler role. Usually these guys save organizations from self-destructing, but they often pay a high price. Emotionally, professionally, and sometimes even physically. That stress will get to you. You can have physical ailments from stress. Your home life can suffer. Professionally, you're the guy. Yeah, hey Bob, you're a great guy. Everyone looks to you. You just don't solve any real big problems. You're just, you're out there on the team, but you don't actually do anything. You're just kind of there. And that's not at all the case, because if Bob leaves, then you're fucked.
Yeah, because they can experience a burnout. You know, they could suffer from ailments that are related to stress, like ulcers, and they could even, like, I hate to say it, they could have like a heart attack from the stress that build up. Yeah, because they're essentially the umbrella of the funnel guy or girl for these type situations. I often call him the guy that you want to bend the ear. Like, hey Austin, can I bend your ear for a minute?
Yeah. And that's and those are great people. Just don't abuse them.
Yeah.
The role needs to be given the attention it deserves for everyone's benefit, because the health of employees is a key element in the long-term competitiveness of companies and a society at writ large, right? So again, don't abuse them. If you got, you know, if Bob's over there and Bob's always helping you out, maybe fucking send Bob a damn Christmas card or get him a little bit of a gift or something. Say thanks for letting me bend your ear so many damn times. I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah. Man, if I didn't have you, I would have went crazy.
Maybe you should tell him that.
You can come to me anytime, buddy. I want you shooting up the place.
Yeah. Thanks for the Snickers.
Before we go further, I'm just curious of your second, third.
You know, I was just about to ask you the exact same thing.
Great minds think alike.
Well, something.
And they smoke great cigars.
Hey. I'm getting a caramel, leather, and a spicy note on the back end. It's not like black pepper, but like maybe like an allspice or like a baking spice.
Okay.
It's very good. Don't get me wrong. It's very, very balanced. It's just those are the notes that I get. What about you?
Well, I'm 100% not copying you, but my woodiness and sweet cedar are still there. That's the dominant. But there's a hint of spice, cocoa, and leather.
You're the motherfucker who orders the exact same dish right after I ordered a dish.
Sir, you should know this by now. I order the same thing every time. Subway, McDonald's, I don't know, whatever restaurant we go to, 9 times out of 10, it's the same thing every time. Just like when we go out to a cigar lounge and I order a drink.
That's not true. You order old fashioned.
That's why I order it every time.
No, because sometimes you order a sidecar.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Do I drift any further than that?
No.
Okay. Moving on.
All right. So the role of a toxic handler is one that's usually you're kind of pulled into the role gradually by colleagues. This is the person that, you know, just has the temperament for it. They always feel, their colleagues always feel they could turn to that person because they're trustworthy, kind, calm, non-judgmental.
That's true. That's typically what people look for, because when they're bending someone's ear to a subject matter, they don't want someone to judge their character for certain things. Like, hey, cheated on my wife. Oh, you fucking whore. They don't want that.
I can't
they want
believe
someone that's,
you.
Yeah, I can't talk to you ever again.
You're going to hell.
You'd be like, you just stay calm. You listen to what people got to say. In a study, it's described that these people as relentless in their drive to accomplish organizational targets and rarely lose focus on business issues. So even though they're having their ear bent by whoever or whatever, they still have the main organizational goal in mind. Like, let me get Austin's mind right so we can build these widgets and get back in the A game.
Yeah. They help manage that emotional pain and use that as one of their means, and they submit that these tasks will probably need to be handled forever. So they take your emotional pain, they help you manage it, they manage their own, and they use that to kind of help finish the tasks at hand. And they recognize that is going to be something that is going to be needed from them forever, for as long as they work, which is kind of depressing when you think about it. Like, hey, I'm going to have to deal with people's shit for the rest of my life.
But that goes with that person's, or whomever, whatever, that goes with their personality trait. That goes with their leadership mindset. That goes with, I want to take care of the people because I know the people in the long run are going to take care of me. They're going to take care of the organization. They're going to take care of business at hand.
Yeah. Well, that's true. That's true. The work of the toxic handler can and does alleviate those toxic conditions from toxic leaders. They act much like a kidney or the immune system, in that they neutralize, dissipate, and disperse the toxicity that build up in the system of the organization or the team, whatever you want to call it.
Right. When I came across that, I'm going off script. When I came across that whole kidney reference, I was like, oh, that's like a perfect description.
Weird.
Because fucking toxic waste shit goes in, and the great stuff, that goes to the wayside, and the good stuff goes back to the body so we can use it.
I feel like that also could be the liver.
Nah, my liver's dead. Handlers work in small and large ways to restore hope and help people reconnect to their work agendas.
Yeah. Yeah, it's those guys that, you bend their ear, they make you feel a little bit better, and you feel like you can go back to work and you can get the job accomplished, and you're not so stressed out by whatever situation you were before you bent their ear. So in general, toxic handlers alleviate organizational pain in about 5 ways. They listen empathetically, non-judgmentally, and they have compassionate listening skills. These are the guys that you could go to and say, yeah, hey, I really just, man, sometimes when Janet talks, I just want to fucking punch her in her face. They're not going to be like, ooh, I need to report you to HR. Like, these are the guys who be like, all right, well, congratulations on not doing that so far. Let's see what we can do to work on that.
Well, and sometimes I know I will play the role of Janet, or what you said, Janet, right? Play the role of Janet. You got to kind of put yourself in her shoes, because she's not dealing with the same situations that we are, and kind of makes it feel like we make mistakes on our end, but Janet just really doesn't know our role. So you got to kind of give her a little understanding, or maybe
grace.
Take it understand that she doesn't know 1 + 1 is 2. We're right here on the floor. We know 1 + 1 is 2. So after some time, give Janet some time, and she'll learn her role, and then everybody will be kumbaya, right?
Right. So that's another way that they actually help, is they don't just listen. They suggest solutions.
Boom.
We just talked about it, right? Hey, let's give Janet a little bit of grace. Hey, have you tried talking to Bill about the way he speaks to you? Have you brought it up to HR that, hey, your paychecks have been short the last 3 weeks, or, whatever the case is? Oh yeah, well, no, I haven't really talked to anybody because I thought I'd just get shut down. Well, let's go talk to them together and we can see if we can figure this out. and they're going to go with you. They're going to help you solve that problem, whatever that problem is.
Yeah. Oftentimes they work behind the scenes to prevent pain. When toxic handlers see a surefire case of organizational pain on the horizon, they typically leap into action to douse it out, and the situation has been taken care of behind the scenes and none the wiser to others. Now,
Yeah.
I put that in respect to the Janet scenario. Like, you kind of play that role, and then later on, without the team even knowing, you go and talk to Janet and be like, Janet, I don't think you understand. 1 + 1 is 2. 1 + 1 is 2. And you try to explain it to her. That way, maybe Janet doesn't sound like a bitch when she's talking to everyone. And unbeknownst to the team, you went behind everyone to kind of resolve that situation with Janet. And hopefully, that whole pot is stirred together to where it's going to be a good tasting gumbo.
Ooh. Yeah, these are the guys that the boss says, hey, I think I'm going to have everyone come in this weekend just so we can really bang this project. And I'm like, no, stop. Why? What's the point? What is the point of having everybody come in this weekend? Well, we're behind on this project. Okay, how are we behind on this project? And they can even do it to the boss. How are we behind on this project? Well, we should be here. Okay, well, that's not really our fault. That was marketing's fault. We can't do anything about that. Why are we going to have our people come in late? Because we're still waiting on engineering or whatever to sit there and bring us the design. So we're going to come in and we're going to sit here and do what? Twiddle our thumbs and make the company pay overtime, or make everyone lose their weekends or whatever? That's silly. All right, you're right. Boom. Team didn't even know that was on the table, and they just solved it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. So another way is they carry the confidences of others. In hearing and keeping secrets well, they allow their coworkers to walk away less troubled. Hey, I know I can go talk to whoever, George, and I know that he's not going to say anything to anybody.
Yeah. My weakness is tying my left shoe. I don't want anybody to know I have a weakness of tying my left shoe. And I confide to Austin that, hey, I'm having a little trouble in this area. I've been practicing. I'm going to work really hard over the weekend, over time. Hopefully I get better at it. And then when it comes down to actually doing the task, for some reason, the task I get is never about tying my left shoe. For some reason, my manager, my leader, my whoever, which is Austin, often gives me a different task other than my left shoe until I have the confidence to tie my left shoe.
Yeah. Weird how that works out, huh?
I can tie my left shoe. Now.
Can you? Can't. Oh, now. Okay, so they reframe difficult messages. They act as diplomats and organizational translators. If somebody comes up, your boss says, hey, tell those idiots out there to get their act together and finish the job by Friday, or else they're all doomed. Manager will pull their staff together and put the directive, toxic handler will put it as, reframe it as, hey, the boss needs us to complete this task by Friday, so let's put our heads together and see what we need to do to meet this deadline. Pain was managed and the job got done. They didn't hear the threat. They just heard, we got to get this job done by Friday. Let's get to work and roll up our sleeves and get it done whatever way we need to. All right, sure thing.
That makes me think of the saying. I don't know. Was you in the shop when it was what would dice do?
Yes.
So I was essentially. Did you?
Uh-huh.
That's funny. Oh man, I think I still have a picture of it somewhere. Anyway, I mean that's perfect, because if you go in and repeat exactly what the boss said, now everybody's going to be worried about being fired. People are going to be nervous or anxious, or they're going to go too fast and mess something up to where now the deadline isn't going to be met because somebody broke something along the way. I don't know, but as soon as you take that sting out of whatever the boss actually said, I mean, it rolls off the tongue a whole lot better. People are, I would assume, are more motivated with the second than the first one.
Yeah. So if let's say a higher level executive says, hey, get these idiots in line, otherwise I'm writing them all up, or they're doomed or whatever, and your mid-level manager comes in and says, hey guys, we got to get this all done. What do we need to get done? Let's all put our heads together. Let's work. Let's help each other out. The team doesn't know they're under threat, right? The mid-level manager does, and so he's motivated to get it done, but the team's not going to sit there and worry about making mistakes. They're going to just be like, all right, boss wants us to get it done. Let's get it done. They've always done right by me. Boom, let's get it done. We got it done. Great. You know, if something happens and they don't get it done and the boss comes down and says, I told you to tell these people that they were all going to work the weekend if they didn't get this done, be like, I know you did, sir, but we ran into some problems. The machine broke or whatever, and we just can't get it done. There's literally no way for us to get it done. We've been working our asses off. Don't take it out on them. Take it out on me. Your team's going to see that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You now become a martyr. Nah, I mean, it just shows the level of respect that you have for your team.
Yeah, exactly. To recap or so, toxic handlers aren't new. Research strongly suggests that two trends in recent years have intensified the need for them. Foremost among them is the growing prevalence of change initiatives, right? Everyone's changing. We got to keep up with the times. We got to change, which is not a bad thing, right? But it's causing a lot of stress to a lot of people. So pursuing the mantra that nonstop change is not just good, it's downright essential. Many executives have spent the past decade re-engineering, restructuring, and reinventing their organizations. In many cases, those transformations have created enormous shareholder value, but invariably they've also caused confusion, fear, and anguish among the employees.
Yeah, the final reason that toxic handlers exist is because the world has toxic bosses. People like a CEO that creates organizational pain through insensitivity.
Ooh. Yeah, there you go. Good job. Way to read.
Enough Hennessy, right? Or they have a vindictive behavior. Other toxic bosses cause pain because they are unwilling to take on the responsibilities of leadership, leaving subordinates hanging, confused, or paralyzed, or all three. Still others are toxic because of their extraordinary high need for control. I'm the one driving the bus, looking over the shoulders of all the people who have a job to do. You guys aren't doing it right.
We call those micromanagers.
Finally, some toxic bosses are unethical, creating conditions that compromise their colleagues and subordinates. I know this shit ain't right, but you guys better get it done.
Yeah, again, one of those things, people, hey, we have a toxic boss. That sucks, having a toxic boss. But if you have a mid-level manager that kind of filters the shit for you, the work is bearable at that point. Hey, the boss could bypass that toxic handler and sit there and come straight to you and rip you up one side and down the other for some stupid mistake. And that sucks. But you know that, hey, they went around George or Bill or Dice or whoever, and hey, if they had to go around him to get to me, all right, cool. He's just being a dick for just to be a dick. Yeah. Toxic handler has routinely filtered the toxic boss's anger and prevented chaos. After meetings filled with belligerent tirades, for instance, the toxic handler would walk from office to office, explaining the boss's real opinions and assuring people he was not angry as he seemed. And so the organizations they worked for continued to function. It's one of those things where you sit there and you kind of go up and you're like, holy shit, we just got our asses reamed for nothing. And then your boss comes, your supervisor comes by and is like, hey, guys, he's not mad at you. The project's behind schedule, and it's not because of us, because we've all been kicking ass. It's because of another department, and he's getting the heat for it. Here's what he actually is trying to say. It didn't come out right.
Yeah. Yeah, and clearly you can see, I'm going to go around again. Clearly you can see how the stress level of that toxic handler or that quiet contributor, you can clearly see how the stress can build up in that person.
Yeah.
Clearly. Because if they're constantly getting a barrage of insults or whatever from the boss, and they're keeping it all on their shoulders and not telling the people, then that means he's keeping it all to himself. So clearly, you should buy that person a coffee.
Or a drink on a Friday. I'm just saying, find out what hobby they like. If they like pool on a Friday afternoon or something, go sit there, shoot some pool with them, buy them a beer. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know when I had a bunch of subordinates, there was one time that I remember specifically, I was getting berated loud, and there was nothing you could do. You were my supervisor, but the boss above you was just berating me left, right, and center. And it was a Friday, and I was just like, yes, sir, I understand. Da, da, da. Got it. My people are working as hard as they can, but I'm not going to make them work overtime because we're literally, you're yelling about us not finishing a product when we've already produced, 4 products over our quota this week. So you're just yelling that you didn't get the 5th for some reason because you think that's the way to do it. And one of my workers had walked by as I was getting just berated, and so that Friday, it was Friday, and I was like, I told everybody, I told them all, hey, great work. I'm really proud of you guys. Way to overproduce, way to get kick ass. I can't be more proud to be your boss. And, let's all have a great weekend. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go shoot some pool. I'm going to have a beer, and I'm just going to relax this weekend. I suggest you guys do something similar. If you guys need to talk, I'm available. I'll be at this bar from this time to this time. Come join me if you feel like it, whatever. A lot of my workers showed up, and they all bought me a beer because one of my workers had walked past and heard me getting berated, and they just wanted to say thanks. And that meant the world to me. I was like, oh, that's so nice. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I didn't mean for you guys to hear it. I didn't want you guys to hear it, but I appreciate the gesture.
Yeah. And that's kind of been my leadership style. I'd rather have the respect of the 10 people that work under me than the one person that works above me.
Right, and that's how toxic handlers get passed over for promotion. Right? They don't have the respect of their boss, so their boss hasn't put them up for promotion, but the respect of their 10 people underneath them, that's the reason that they do it.
Quiet contributor, sir.
Yes.
I don't want you to be quiet. I want you to tell me what your final third is.
Oh, final third. Oh, that's a good one. All right, hold on.
I've been practicing.
It's good sweat. It is a good segue. All right. White pepper has come to the forefront.
Oh, wow.
But on the back end, I'm still getting a little bit of caramel, maybe some mocha and leather. It's very good, but white pepper has definitely come to the forefront. What about you?
That's the first thing you described that does not work with Hennessy.
Yeah.
You might need to reevaluate, sir. Smoke like 3 more.
Have I changed my mind?
No, negative. Never. My cigar is taking the form and fashion of the Davidoff factory, because Avo is under that umbrella. I am getting grassy hay like flavor profile with still that woodsy cedar sweetness. Slight hint of cocoa, but the hay is definitely taking over the cocoa.
All right, so woodsy and he swallows, ladies and gentlemen. Woodsy and he swallows.
Woodiness, and I swallow. Come on, get it right.
All right, so over this last episode, we talked about whether to spit or swallow.
Yeah,
and where the spit comes from.
Yeah, we know which one you like. We know which one I like.
Yep. Woody swallowing cigars. And then we talked about toxic handlers, or if you prefer the term, quiet contributors.
Yeah, I think that has you said it has a better ring than toxic, because as soon as I hear toxic, I'm like, oh, this is bad.
This guy's
so quiet contributors.
No, and I agree. There's a negative connotation with the word toxic, right? We think toxic. If you just go toxic waste, people are like, that is bad.
Yeah.
That is
toxic
polluting our world. Toxic relationship. Man, that chick or that dude is like getting abused. Okay.
That's toxic.
Got it. That's toxic. Hey, I got a toxic boss. That guy's a dick.
Yeah.
Right? So you hear the word toxic, you automatically think bad. But so, and I agree. Toxic has that negative connotation, which it should. It should. There's a reason why it is. Huh. But I encourage everybody, if you see somebody who is a toxic handler, or if you are the toxic handler, keep your chin up. It does, I don't want to say it gets better. Remember why you're doing it, right? If you're the toxic handler, if you see a toxic handler and you're not the toxic handler, buy that person a beer, buy that person a bottle of scotch or something, or a bottle of Hennessy or whatever they like, and say, hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for being you. I really appreciate it. It will mean the absolute world to that person. I guarantee it. It will mean the absolute world to that person.
There's something we forgot.
Oh, what did we forget?
Your cigar, sir. Is it one or two, 5-pack, or box worthy?
Ooh, I'm going to go 5-pack with this one. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's very, very good. Do I see myself just smoking this all the time and being happy with the box? No. Would I be upset if I had a 5-pack? Not at all. I'd smoke this again and again. But I just don't think I want to buy an entire box. Now, if I had a humidor, like a 4,000 count humidor, would I buy a box? Sure. Right now, it's a 5-pack.
I'm going to have to agree with you. The cigar is very good. I would definitely smoke it multiple times, like, over and over again. But I don't feel it's worth having a box of these. The flavor profile is great. I just know I've smoked other cigars that are probably slightly better that I would definitely buy a box of over this one. So I'm going to go 5-pack.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Until next time, I'm Austin.
And I'm going to stay Dice.
And just remember, great leaders smoke great cigars.
Thank you for listening to Leadership of the Leaf. The comments and opinions expressed by the host and guests does not reflect the opinions of those that broadcast this show, nor does it reflect any of our affiliates.